I'm just trying to help you.
Okay, I'll see you when I'm back in New York. Thanks for the call.
Good heavens. Such hostility. What was that all about?
It was a friend of mine from Central America. He's in New York getting physical therapy for his leg. Okay?
Well, that's not what I meant. I wanted to know what it was you so vehemently do not want to discuss.
My personal life is my own business, Natalie.
And it was something personal.
Listen, at the risk of being rude, may I remind you that I'm a guest in this house? Your questions are totally out of line.
And you are totally vulnerable to them.
Out of patience would be more accurate for your lack of respect for my privacy.
Quite the man of mystery, aren't you?
Yes. And that's exactly how we're going to leave it. Good night, Natalie.
We'll see about that, Jeremy. We'll see.
Dr. Martin said that he was asking for me.
Yes, but remember, he's very, very weak.
It's Ross.
Ross. What happened?
You've been very ill, Adam. And you're in Pine Valley Hospital. But everything's going to be okay. You have the best doctors. The best available, and you're going to be all right. I'm taking care of all your business. So you don't have to worry about anything except getting well, okay?
Jeremy.
Jeremy, yeah.
He did this.
I know what he did. But he'll pay for it.
His memory is returning in chronological stages. At this point, she has remembered her life only up until her teenage years.
Well, that's extremely encouraging.
But I must remind you, Mr. Cortland, I'm very uncomfortable with this request you've made of me.
Well, I gave you my good reasons. Nina's husband and her mother would be devastated if they were told that Nina was making progress and then she failed to recover fully. I mean, you've admitted yourself that you don't always have total success.
Of course not. But I'm not being responsive to my patient's husband, a man who obviously loves her.
All I'm asking, Helmut, is that you hold back just a little information. After all, it would be a matter of prudence. If you can't honor this simple request, how can we possibly hope to work together in the future? On that project in Salzburg, for example.
That would be unfortunate, but I will not be compromised. This deception with Dr. Warner cannot go on indefinitely.
I heard the most fascinating archaeological lecture today, Phoebe. It dealt with the Pompeii, you know, with the diggings of Pompeii. My dear, you would not believe the excesses of that culture.
Well, you had better start worrying a little more about the excesses of a culture nearer home.
Well, what is that supposed to mean?
In a word, Locust Street, to be specific.
Oh, my dear, you can't mention Locust Street in the same breath as Pompeii.
I don't see why it isn't possible that they might have stripped chariots in antiquity.
Stripped? What in the world are you talking about?
I'm talking about the fact that the Mercedes was stripped on Locust Street last night.
Oh, Phoebe.
That you loaned Andrew the car so that he and Hillary could go running off to New York to deliver that damnable disc.
Well, yes, I know about that, but...
But what you don't know is that when they arrived in New York, they found Tad and Dottie in bed together. Poor Andrew was naturally crushed to find that Dottie had been unfaithful to him. So he drove to Locust Street and drank himself into oblivion. This morning, when he tried to return home to Pine Valley, he discovered that the car had been stripped.
Well, I'll call Wagner Garage and simply have them tow it back to Pine Valley.
Oh, tow it, eh? Well, on what, dear? You see, the car is now on cinder blocks. Sans wheels, sans doors, sans engine, sans everything.
Oh, Phoebe, I am sorry.
Now, you see, I tried to stop you from letting those two children run off to New York like that. And if I had been successful, none of this would have happened.
Phoebe, I listen to everything that you say, but I don't always agree with it.
Oh, but surely you must agree now that I was right. In fact, you should apologize for opposing me at every step with Tad and Hillary. And if you do, my darling, then you may return to our bedroom and to my bed.
Nope. I have no intention of apologizing. I did what I thought was best for my daughter.
You still defy me, you ingrate? Well, I won't put up with it.
What are you going to do?
Well, for one thing, I shan't supply you with an automobile any longer.
Now, Phoebe.
Well, you can't expect to defy me and still run around in one of my expensive cars. From now on, you can just depend on public transportation. And if that fails, you can stick up your thumb and hitchhike.
Good friend, what do you want?
Well, I'm hoping you can help me with an assignment. I have gotten strict orders from my news director to do a story with a new slant on Adam Chandler's health. So if you could just answer a couple of questions.
I'm sorry, Brooke. I'm not authorized to make any comment at all.
Cliff, look, I'm not going to name a source. I'm not even going to quote you directly.
Brooke, I'd like to help you. I can't.
Meaning you won't.
Meaning this is not your average run-of-the-mill patient. Look, Brooke, why don't you talk to Ross? Maybe he can give you some information.
Yeah, I guess I can give that a try. All right, well, thanks anyway.
No hard feelings?
No, you know better. Oh, listen, I was meaning to ask you, how's Nita doing?
Well, you know she's working with this specialist that Palmer has hired from Vienna.
Is he helping her?
Well, apparently not. I honestly haven't seen her in a long time. I haven't been allowed to. But from all I've heard, she's not doing any better.
You must understand, Helmut, I'm not asking you to do anything unethical. If Nina's improvement were more substantial, of course I'd be very eager for you to tell Dr. Warner.
But she is making progress every day.
Yes, you see, I've had an idea that might help even more. Nina's often mentioned to me that she might like to come home. Suppose we just do exactly that.
She's not ready to be released.
No, I don't mean for a long visit. No, just for a short time. Now, isn't it possible that if she were in the environment, the atmosphere of her childhood, that might be therapeutic?
You said you didn't want your wife to know of any progress.
Oh, well, it just so happens that my wife and her mother are in New York on a shopping trip. Would you let me try it?
It's an interesting idea. Let me get Nina.
Hello.
Andrew, have you recovered from your imprudent night on the town?
Well, I still got a first-class headache. About 24 more aspirin, and then maybe I'll be able to make it to class.
That's the spirit. Before you do that, I have a favor to ask of you.
Ross, you got
and
a
it's
second?
very important.
What is it, Brooke?
I've been given a priority assignment from our newsroom, a story on your uncle's health, but the doctors haven't been very helpful.
So?
So I thought maybe you could give me a statement.
No, absolutely not. I thought I made that clear to your colleague last night. Brian Sanders?
I heard, look, Ross, Brian and I are only doing our job.
Is that right? Is it your job to invade the privacy of my family?
Adam is a major corporate leader. Don't you think his stockbrokers have a right to know about the state of his health?
Listen to me, Brooke. If you or anybody else writes a story about the capability of Adam's leadership, Every stockholder in Chandler Enterprises is going to be hurt. The whole corporate structure is going to be destabilized. I happen to be his nephew, and I promise you one thing, I'm going to protect him.
He's a public figure.
He's not the president of the United States. Nobody voted him into power. And nobody has a right to know.
The press has a right to investigate, and they have a right to print the truth on us.
Stop there for a minute, will you, Brooke? I promise you one thing. You seem to forget that Adam owns your station. You push, keep pushing, and I promise you you're going to be fine.
This is our library. You remember it?
So different.
Somebody painted it pink.
Is the leg still down here?
Oh, yes. Remember at Christmas time, you played all of Christmas carols.
And we always used to put the Christmas tree right over there.
Mm-hmm.
It smelled so nice when we bring it in from the woods.
We had beautiful times together.
And it was always just you and I, wasn't it, Father? Who is that
What?
in that magazine? Do I know him?
Oh, that. You see, I told you about him. That's Cliff Warner.
I don't want to see that.
Well, I don't blame you. But I must warn you, darling, if you do meet him, you mustn't believe one word that he says.
Father, please. Please just keep him away from me. Promise me.
Yes, darling. Yes, I'll try. Anyway, let me get rid of this, I don't know how it ever got there in the first place.
Haven't got a lot of time, Andrew. What's on your mind?
Well, I know you don't have a lot of time, so I won't take too much. I want to clear the air about things.
About what in particular?
Well, about my involvement with the whole mess that was created with Sandy.
Okay, what was your involvement?
Well, I mean, you know what it was. I'm the one that took Sandy across the state line to see that play in New York.
Okay. I do know that. Now I'd like to know why.
Well, it was Palmer's idea. He said he had some tickets to go see a play. I really like Sandy, so I thought
I'll say this whole bit about your liking Sandy, okay? Palmer told you what to do, you did it. You always will as long as he's paying your bills.
Okay, look, I deserve that. But the truth of the matter is this is too obscure. I could never have known, Cliff.
Yeah, would it make any difference if you did?
Look, no matter what you may think of me, I don't just go around ruining people's lives. I'm sorry that happened.
Well, maybe you'll think twice the next time Palmer gives you an order. It's a pretty rotten thing you did.
I know, and that's why I came here to apologize to you. I mean, I know how much you love Nina, and I know how much she loves you. And believe it or not, I'd like to see the two of you back together someday.
Well, if Palmer has his way, that won't happen.
Well, I mean, if Nina got well, things might
Yeah,
work
well,
out.
that doesn't seem very likely now, does it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, things are looking good now, right?
What do you mean? What do you say that?
Well, she went over to Cortland Manor this morning.
She what?
Palmer thought it might be good to, get her memory back together.
He doesn't do that without consulting me. He doesn't do that.